All that spirits desire, spirits attain, said Khalil Gibran. The world of the dead may take you with them or save you for the world of the living. And so, once upon a time, Grandma Florence was married to Grandpa when she was still very little. Grandpa, as it turned out, was a drunkard, gambler, wife beater. The only thing that he did for Grandma was give her two daughters, Suki, my mother, and Aunt Hilda. Aunt Hilda was the artist of the family, crossed the ocean to live a bohemian life in France. Mom taught philosophy at the university and died unhappy. Grandpa Joe left Grandma one Sunday morning, never to return. A lot of the townsfolk were certain that it was a railroad accident. Poor Grandma. She posted those missing posters all over town for a man who was a monster to her. But Grandpa never got back. One day out of the blue, I received a call from Grandma asking me if I would spend the Thanksgiving weekend with her. Two lonely people coming together would be Thanksgiving enough. I grabbed a turkey from the supermarket on my way to her. She was pleased at my thoughtfulness. It felt good, chatting with Grandma Florence about good times. I had my little room under the attic where I stayed whenever I visited her. It seemed like a windy night, and I could hear the thunder far away. A little past midnight, I heard a knocking outside my window. A knocking on the second floor window, that too on a windy day. It was in the region of scary. Coupled with that, the knocking had a steady rhythm to it. Knock, knock, then stop. Then knock, knock, again. I got out of bed to see what it could be. The window was covered by this flimsy lace curtain. I gathered all the courage a young man should possess and drew the curtain back in one quick flourish. There was no one there. Then I found the culprit. A branch of the tree outside had grown long enough to tap on the glass of the window. I waited. I saw the wind blow the branch again, and sure enough, it was there. The tapping of the branch and the rhythm to the swaying in the wind. I exhaled slowly. I used all my strength and yanked the errant branch of the fork that supported it. It fell to the ground 2 floors below. No more than an hour must have passed when it came again. The knocking. Knock, knock. Stop. Knock, knock. I stood up in a flash. This was not ordinary. I did not waste time in drawing the curtains, and there it was, another branch, knocking on the window. It was beyond any logical explanation. I yanked this one off as well, and it fell next to the one that was already on the ground. I was robbed of all my sleep, looking at the lacy curtains. It was almost 3 in the morning when the knocking came again. Knock, knock, stop. Knock, knock. I have no idea what made me talk to a tree out loud. Probably the fear. If you're trying to talk to me, knock once for yes and 2 for no. This time there was only one knock. Yes. I gathered some courage and asked, "Are you some kind of a spirit or some kind of a demon?" "Knock," came the reply. I could feel a bead of sweat escape the back of my neck. I have no clue from where, but a conspiracy theory struck my mind. What if it was Grandpa Joe? He disappeared, did he not? Was it not then possible that he could have probably fallen or died from here? Or, "Are you Grandpa Joe?" I inquired frightfully. "Knock, knock," came the response. No, it wasn't Grandpa. How could it be? I wasn't thinking straight. I shot back a few more questions, but the answers stopped coming. I also heard Grandma coughing downstairs, probably making us a pot of coffee. The night of dreadful absurdities was over. I decided to take a walk before lunch and speak to some old townsfolk, figure if they had heard stories of hauntings or such. It would have been easier to talk to Grandma, but then it occurred to me that should this be a figment of my imagination, it would only end up terrifying poor Grandma. I told Joe the house would bring him nothing but bad luck. It was evil. The young man with a new bride thinks he can fight the world. Sad, sad indeed. Sheriff Dover lit his pipe once again. It was the poor Joe himself who was the first one to disappear. They called it a railroad accident, but it was no accident. I ran the line 3 miles up and down with the sniffer dogs in tow. Nothing. No one really believed Trev was drunk. He swore he saw Joe come back from the church early, go into the house and never come out back from there. I did believe him, though. Just couldn't prove it. Hilda didn't make it to France, did she? Sheriff Dover raised an eyebrow. Aunt Hilda did not make it back? When did she make it here in the first place? She came visiting 10 years back and never left. Disappeared as well. You didn't know that, did you? I sure as hell didn't know that. I needed to speak to Grandma Florence about what the hell was going on. It turned out to be a bad idea. Grandma couldn't stop the sobs from racking her body at the memory of what had happened to her daughter all those years back. She did come visiting, and she did never leave. But Grandma had to have her institutionalized at the mental health facility in the city. Paris had been a good idea as a young woman, but the years had not been kind to her. Your mother did not want her to ever find out because she knew how close you were to her. I nodded, my heart filled with sadness. Would you like to see her tomorrow? You can drive me there, perhaps. Grandma tried to smile through her tears. I agreed and hugged her tight. But the night, I knew it wasn't over. I knew the knocking would come. It did not begin till well past midnight. I was ready. I'd already left the curtains drawn, and I could see the errant branch clearly. The wind came in stronger that night before, and the swaying of the branch began. 2 knocks at a time. Pause. 2 more. Rat-a-tat, stop. Rat-a-tat. Are you trying to tell me something? I said out loud. A single knock. Yes. Are you a dead family member? A single knock again. Yes. Are you warning me? A single knock. Yes, it was then that I heard Grandma coughing again. This time I could also hear her climbing the staircase with a heavy step, the wooden boards creaking as she climbed. And then I realized what I had missed. Grandma cried for Aunt Hilda. But there were no tears. She could not shed tears. Grandma couldn't climb the steps. I turned to the branch and asked, "Are you Grandma?" A single knock. Then who the hell was this woman? Whoever she was climbing the steps more surely this time. Is Aunt Hilda dead? A single knock. My Grandma. Grandma. Aunt Hilda. All dead. But why? And who would do something like that? There were so many questions that I would have to ask to get a full story. Does she want to kill me? This woman who is not you, Grandma? A single knock, yes. Then, like a celestial gift. I remember what Sheriff Dover had said. I told Joe that Hal would bring me nothing but bad luck. He was evil. I barred the door to my room with a heavy armchair and turned back to the branch. Is it the house? Does it want all of us dead? A single knock. Yes. I stood frozen at the confirmation of something so terrifying. Then I heard the imposter Grandma knock on my door and whisper, "Come along, son. You're the only one of this family left. It has taken me years to get rid of all of you, but it's time I get a new family to stay within my walls." I felt my blood grow cold. I was trapped in a small room under the attic. There was no way I could escape, but I could use the branch to get out the window and then probably hang onto the tree. A single knock. Like she'd read my mind. She was after all my grandma. She was here to save me.